So, of course, I was watching this on the way home. Started talking to myself, thinking I was recording. No. So,
Yep.
here
Yeah.
we go.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. So this is something funny that Iris and my team on the creative side probably talk about behind my back, which is this just unlimited stream of content that I'm able to come up with. To be very frank, guys, I mean this. I just think I have a lot to say. Like, and not because I love hearing myself talk, which I do. It's just that I like I'm really gonna end up being known as somebody who's really good. I think I'm grossly underrated for all the fandom I already have. I really can feel it as I'm starting to audit myself against the A players of society. I think I got lucky that my mom and dad had sex at the right moment. I mean it. It's DNA, right? It just the same that so many of you, whether you can sing or play basketball or rap or draw or be good at business, like this was like there was a reason I was an anomaly, an enigma when entrepreneurship wasn't cool. Like I've always had this thing, and so for me it comes very natural. First of all, I have 8 to 12 core principles, and I'm very good at synthesizing culture and making it feel fresh, even though it's the same shit. And the only reason people here have been following me a long time is if they follow me for a long time, because if you follow me for a year, you pretty much figure out what I'm up to. The reason somebody would stay longer is I'm good at understanding what's happening right now. You eventually figure out what I'm up to, whether it's the first day you ever saw me or how many people here actually, this is fun for other people to see. By show of hands, how many of you, the first time you came across my stuff, actually thought I was a straight dick face, didn't like me, didn't like it? Raise your hands. Tell the truth. It doesn't hurt my feelings. Raise it. Raise it. Right? So like, to me, I know that that kind of percentage happens, but I think in a year, or if you catch 4 or 5 pieces of content, right, eventually like, wait a minute, I didn't expect it. Like, you figure out, my gift of gab makes a lot of people on initial insight, or my cursing makes people initially be like, this guy's a dick face, right? But my actions win over time because of what I'm asking for. I think that for me, it's the reason I'm worth following long term is I know when audio's popping. I know what to do. Like I'm pushing some people here to make an Alexa skill or a briefing for themselves. I'm pushing like, hey, do this podcast. It's gonna matter for him. And so for me, it's been very easy. It comes natural. I always recommend for people that it doesn't to use other people. Why do you think almost every podcast that's successful interviews somebody else? I'm like one of the only podcasts that's straight content to your face. Every other podcast is interviewing somebody. Because it's hard. You know what's a lot easier? Asking questions. So whether it's using another person to be a guest or using one of the reasons I do call-in shows is that's an easy way for the Ask Garyvee show to work.
And what sucks is when he said that, I started answering them or having the conversation in my head, and I was like, oh, you gotta talk out loud. So I didn't even know that difference existed until just hearing him say that now. And this is where the conversation came in. In hearing him say that, my response to him literally was, oh, well, good, that's what I'm doing. Like, not to be a dick about it, but damn. I literally have no interest in having... Well, here's what I have an interest in. I have an interest in being someone that does a podcast to the point where I'm going to be out in public talking, and by that time I'll be recognizable to the point where if I'm in a chosen area of my target market, if I'm in one of their areas, I can increase the chance of me getting noticed. So I can do this while doing my, quote, podcast. Shit, by then they'll probably have, and here's a perfect good idea for blockchain and fucking, what's it called? Cell phones. Blockchain and cell phones, here you go. You download the app for a podcast that enables you to interact with the people around you, provided they have chosen to interact with you. Could you imagine that? It'd be like an audience of your absolute best friends. Because you could literally, in your podcast, say, I know these people are in this area. This is who I want to have show up to what I'm going to go say over in this area in about 4 hours. Like that's how I'm going to end up doing my podcast. Put it that way. But yeah, I don't have an interest in doing, actually, well, okay, so maybe I just hybridized a podcast with a vlog, I think. So I do like to ask questions, and that's mostly on Twitter. But I guess it would be questions of my own selfish nature. Probably. I don't know, I kind of see podcast being a word like, fossils were in our geological experience as an Earth. Like, I'm sure it's old, so I could imagine podcast kind of dying out in its original format and it being called something dumb like a vlogcast, because, what are you going to call it by then? I have no idea. So now I guess I get to reread this before I press play. I'm happy I started out on my journey. What am I talking about here? Oh, baby boomers, millennials. I guess I'm not a millennial, but I'm going to have to say I go with the latter. I'm happy I started out on my journey a decade ago. Had I not been looking to buy the best money, that's the word, available, to buy the best money available, I would have never found Bitcoin. Had I not started, had I not been looking to buy the best money available, is what I want to do. Had I not been looking to buy the best money available, I would have never found Bitcoin. I think I need to start doing these brand money. Brand money? Like, what would you call that? Ooh, personal asset. Personal. Oh, hush. Personal brand asset. Management. Ha! What does that look like? Personal brand asset. Management. PBAM. Bam! There you go. Bam! I don't know what the heck to call that. But that makes sense. It's your data money. It's your information. It's your personal brand asset management system. BAMS! Why do I crack myself up? Seriously. What person cracks themselves up? Software. BAMS! Oh, man. I kind of want to leave it. BAMS! Oh, what a doofus. Why does this get more funny? Oh my gosh. Alright, I gotta stop this. This is nonsense. I have to stop this. Alright, I'm happy I started out on my journey a decade ago. Had I not been looking, That's why I wanted to do that. Had not been looking, there we go. Why do I get so excited over spelling the word correctly? Dude, words, best you know, words are very helpful to know how to use, put it that way. I was never one for grammar, and I always have this ongoing battle with myself in grammar. But it's kind of like, you have to learn it because you have to use it. But now I'm at this point in my life where I understand why. Because if you didn't know it, you couldn't communicate. And when back in the Poldark days of writing letters, if you couldn't write, you couldn't communicate. So I think it's important for the coming generation of individuals that use texting and phone communication methods type of messaging are going to have to, or should be rewarded by increasing their their freaking grammar school skills. Whatever, my gosh, Brady, just keep it moving. Had I not, but there, see, I just did. That's why when I was rereading it, it didn't work. I'm happy I started out on my journey a decade ago. Had I had not been looking to buy the best money available, I would never have found Bitcoin. Data money, personal brand asset management software. I kind of want to make it more funny, not that it's funny, but it gets why is it better when I do it like this? Bams! Bam bucks! Oh no, you're good. No. Too far. Bam bucks. Too far, buddy. That's, yeah. I think we're borderline. Personal brand assets. Personal brand assets. How do I want to notify? I think I wanted to do something like this. Because I want to be able to Okay, put it this way. So I know when to do the right thing. Crap, what was the right thing that I was just thinking? Dang it. I guess this would have to be a 2-minute broadcast show on Facebook live stream with people going to their Twitter accounts to dictate where my train of thought should go. Did that make any sense? Okay, so this asterisk sign symbol, whatever the heck it's called, this bugger. If I were in a live stream and I just put that there and hit enter, which is what I'll do. Hurry up, Brady, what takes you so long? Mr. Fresh, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to go look at myself again. I know it's so lame. Come on. What the heck? Mr. Fresh, what'd you do? Oh, really? Where the heck did this go? Don't be so picky, Brady. Jeez. Alright, so then if someone read this, I am happy I started out. I'm happy I started out on my journey a decade ago. Had I not been looking to buy the best money available, I would have never found Bitcoin. So if someone would read that and then see this, I think that would be a symbol for me to explain what data money is, I think, by, say, liking the video, or watch, I can get 3 likes. I can get 3 likes by saying something like this. I'm happy I started out on my journey a decade ago. Had I not been looking to buy the best money available, I would have never found Bitcoin. By saying something like this, so then I guess I don't know what this would mean when if I did this. Like, oh, it's not what I'm trying to do. So then there you have 3. And then when that pops up, you right here, comma, and there is where my train of thought will go. You have to pay. You have to pay myself. Wait, I said this the other day and it made a lot of sense. Oh, I'm annoyed I can't remember it. And that pops up you right here. And there is where my train of thought will go. You pay to take my imagination. That's kind of creepy. I might not want to say that. Oh, jeez. Okay, you pay to take... You pay me to lend you my imagination. Why is this so hard for me to spell? You pay me to lend you my imagination. No, that's... Why did I do that like Willy Wonka? My imagination. You pay... You pay me to lend you... You pay me to lend you my imagination, and it consumes the content from the context of your questions. Tip. Lying gives you the worst answer possible. So this is kind of a, like, I don't know if I'm feeling boisterous this evening. Hold on. Scheisse Wilhelm. Probably gonna do that more. Let me start making tea and leave you with Garyvee.
Just walk in to ask Garyvee like this, yeah? Like, I'm doing it right now. And the reason I can do it is I know my craft. The reason a lot of people pay attention to who doesn't do Q&A. You want to tell a subtle tell on who doesn't know their shit? Pay attention to who ducks. Some people just don't want to do Q&A, that's fine. Watch who ducks Q&A. I've been able to read people in 1 second. Like, the amount of fakers I know out there right now, because they won't do Q&A, like contractually, and they don't do Q&A because they're not real. It's super easy to memorize something and regurgitate it. It's called an actor. So, using other people. You know what else is good? Using other people at the most macro. So step one, another person, interview, easy. Step two, Q&A if you know your craft, easy. Step three, something I've seen nobody do that I would love to do, I'm just too busy, social commentary. I love the idea of taking your iPhone, going to Times Square, looking at everybody's sneakers, and talking about sneaker culture and who's wearing what, or going to a Whole Foods and looking at packages and pricing, like auditing culture. It's cool, right? I mean, I do it all the time as a person, but so much of what I know, like, I knew slides was coming for 8-year-old girls because I was like watching culture, right? Like,
Dude. Yo, I had this conversation that I recorded like 4 months ago maybe, and I was outside and I was like, why can't I have a platform that allows me to, you know, like I was imagining giving some speech on like a street corner and having like people listening. And that was like the ending of my podcast. Like, oh shit, my Periscope is or my live podcast, which I think I had came up with back then was Periscope. It's finished. Now blah blah blah. Oh crap, that was too much sugar. Oh, sugar. Pour a little bit of that out. Oh, not the tea bag too. Probably sounded wrong. I'm trying to make tea at the moment. Sorry. I always get thirsty when I do these things. Plug it in. Sorry. So, I have literally slightly fantasized about this. And I was literally just talking about this 2 seconds ago before I even watched this. I want to go out and do a podcast for real and have someone start talking to me and have that be the fucking podcast. True, I threw the possibility of people recognizing me in public because I was so well known for doing such an awesomely podcast. True, I threw that in for myself. But what don't take this the wrong way, but what gets me off about what he just said, A, I have already been wanting to do it, but B, the way he said it made that seem so much more palatable or acceptable, or like, I'm not sure why I haven't thought of this beforehand, but the way his comment read to me, hold on a second. The way his comment read to me was social commentary. And that's like, let's see, when did you do this? Out in Long Island? Long Island? What is this? Long Island. Dude, that was almost, well, will be a year and 8. How many ever months that is. So whenever I look at these, I always try and figure out, what point of my life was he doing this? What was I doing here? And this time of year, I think it had to do with buying Bitcoin, to be honest. Or figuring out how to. Or trading it or doing something with it, but paying attention to it every day. Wish I had recorded some of those. Maybe I did. Can't remember. Anyway, this guy is blowing my mind because that's literally literally that's what I'm trying to do with this idea. So what I'm doing right, or I guess the end of when I finish what I'm doing, what I am doing, what I will have showed you from doing will now be done. So I guess then I can explain it. Basically, if that were a live stream and I put the asterisk there, if that tweet got a lot of information, it got a lot of likes in 5 minutes after I started talking about something else, anybody watching could like that tweet, retweet it with a comment so they can get more likes on it to get it back up to my attention in my live stream. And this all will need to be done by digital things. We'll figure it out. But that's how the social commentary then happens. That tweet then gets resurfaced, and I look at it and I say, oh, people want a better explanation of what data money is. And it's literally, reading your comments in your, in your live stream, reading the comments that people give you in the live stream. But it's kind of hard to read, or it's kind of hard to keep on topic while explaining things, while also getting the viewer's input. And this is where I think having the asterisk will help, is if it were a live stream, they could then go and look at my, in this case's profile, and figure out which tweet came up with the most requests to then throw that one up in front of my face instead of the 30 people, the 30 opinions I get all thrown at me in 40 different ways. I'd want to answer that, and I'm not trying to... Anyway, I hope that makes sense. Yeah, so asterisk means pay attention. Or describe that some more. So, like I said, something tip line gives you... I guess I'm like fantasizing about what I'm going to make a living doing in the future. You pay me to lend you my imagination, and it consumes the content from your context of your question. That might be a little too much, Brady. You pay me to lend you my imagination, and it consumes the content... Yeah, a little too wordy. Consumes the content of your question. What's the word Gary says? When you're honest, you're good intent. Lying gives you answers with bad intent. Yes. Pay me to lend you my imagination, and it consumes the content of your question. Tip: lying only gives you answers with bad intent, so beware. Oh, I think this is where... I think before I was trying to figure out how to do this, I did like a message thing. Like I wrote message, but massage, but... So like when I was... I guess that's when I couldn't think out loud, maybe? So I had to type it, but since it took so long, it was like frustrating because I had to type it out to write to say that it took so... I don't know, sometimes when I do these, I can't talk, so then what comes out is literally my train of thought in text form, and then erasing because I'm using the text field to also communicate, or the tweet field to also communicate a message to the person watching. If that makes sense. It was very bizarre, but I think I am done. Watch below when finished. Watch for a video post below. Oh, what was my... Why not? What was that thing? Yeah. How did I... Crap. I don't think it's worth it. Crap, what did I call it? Alright, let me figure this out and we'll come back. Here's the tough part about trying to actually accomplish what I'm attempting to set out to accomplish, but not necessarily this evening. Trying to record my ideas, has led me to... You're now going to join me in making dinner because, you know what? I'm going to eat it and you're going to have to bear through this unbearable process of listening to horrible audio play with 80 million things going on in the background and all this stuff and just this... I'm sure it's horrible to listen to, so I'm going to try and make this as beneficial to your knowledgeable health as possible. Crap, what was I just going to say? Oh, live streaming. So in my effort to want to live stream, I had to reverse engineer that. How would I make that possible? Okay, so I could tweet live to hear feedback from the people listening. So that would mean I'd have to put something in a tweet that would let people identify it, upvote it, so to speak, so that I get it, and then it enters my train of thought because the tweet pops up and I read it, and I'm like, oh, this is the direction you want to go in. How do I get that to happen? How do I start that? So that means I have to start doing a video like this, but I have to record it, because obviously in the beginning no one's going to listen. So you start the video recording yourself doing these things, and then as you say in the video, oh hey, this is where I could explain data money, and that was the option I had there. Hold on a second. Fire in the hole. Fire in the hole. Yeehaw. Don't know why I'm sounding like a cowboy. Yeah, so what was I saying? Crap. This change of distraction. Get out of here. Yeah, so I'm going to put the asterisk in the tweet as I'm videoing it, and once the comment starts getting likes, then I'll know people are watching the video, then I'll know I'll do the live stream. Haha, you see how I did that there? This could take a year. I have no idea. This could take 2 years. It could take 3 years. It could take 4 months. The point is, now that I'm telling you this is what I need to do, this is what I'm trying to do, now I actually have to do it. So, talk about accountability. All it needs from me is to tell the truth. Which, lucky for me, it's the easiest thing to remember. That and I hate lying. But we'll get there. We'll touch on these things eventually. You pay me to lend you my imagination, and it consumes the content of your question. Tip: lying only gives you answers with bad intent. So, buyers, beware. Watch out for a video post below. Right, so what was... Ow. That hurt. This might not be a video you want to listen to with headphones on. Come on. So this is what I started doing when I left earlier. But somehow I got started on making dinner and thinking some more, so that kind of got in the way. Yeah, and also during a live stream of that, there will be no breaks. There will be no I'll be backs. So I guess I'll have to broadcast whatever it is that happens. And that's how I like, going outside. So that's what could happen during the live stream. If I could live stream outside through my phone, I guess, is what that would have to do. As long as I can do that, why the heck not? So to hear Garyvee say that literally tonight, I am, for lack of a better French word, fucking floored that he literally... not this again. Okay, I have to write this down. Oh, shove it. I have to write this down. So here's the problem. No, it's not a problem. This is just, I guess, how I do it. Crap. I'm trying to do one thing and I end up doing 65 other things. As is my mind. I don't know if it's worth. So I'm thinking of 8 different things right now and only talking about one of them. I'm not sure if it would be helpful to anyone, but myself, yeah, I guess we're just gonna have to go through this, because I cannot stand having this on here, but I also cannot stand not knowing exactly how to go in there and finally change something. So, how far back was that? Crap, I don't think I can find it. That's like a needle in a haystack. Right. What do I call it? Oh, I guess I have to do this. Oh, come on. How do I find this later? Oh, the data money one that I just saw. That is right there, so I can find that through there. So I don't need to put anything, because I can find it because I know where it is on my desktop. Reply. So do that. And then look. Of course, now it's disappeared. Why doesn't it show the original time I said this and not when I was saying it again? That's the one I'm looking for. 3 likes. And how come they didn't show the retweet? Son of a bee. I don't know what happened. Did I get to 10? So let's turn on Mr. V. Again? Yeah. Here we... Oh, I need to write... Crap.
If you've always had intuition, you know how people love discovering new bands and then they hold on to it, and then when a band gets popular, they get mad at them because they sold out. You know, like if you've got that skill, try to synthesize that. That would be a super fascinating thing to watch or listen to. I wish I did a show where I told you what was actually going through my head when I come in to like the airport. Like, do you know why I like flying so much? Watching the people at the airport. It's how I got on Snapchat so early. I just kept watching like teenagers opening this yellow app like 5 years ago. I was like, what is that? And went into the app store, finally it popped up in the charts like number 130. I'm like, that's the yellow thing. You know? I've stopped looking at teenagers as much because some of the dads were getting mad at me.
Dude.
Literally, I was like hovering over like teenage girls will tell you the future every time. It's a lot easier for some of the women in here to do it. Like creepy 40-year-old dude looking at young, kids is kind of weird. So, but I watch people. That would be a cool show as a third one.
Dude,
Yes, sir.
I'm doing one of those. I lost track.
Yes, sir.
So, as a disruptor, what's coming?
Hold on. I seriously need to finish cooking. Come on. Can't wait for that to be annoying. Sorry, so I didn't finish when I was... Did I start this again? Yes. I didn't finish cooking and then it started burning, so... Oy vey. Yeah, Amsterdam twerk music. So, I guess this... Oh, something else I've always wanted to do. Did you ever see those, I almost want to call them squirrel videos. Have you ever seen those, I know no one's going to respond, but I'm going to ask anyway. Wait for the drop. Slow down, baby. Woo! Well, if that's not an interruption, I don't know what is. Have you ever... Oh, chipmunks. No, it's like people on... Have you ever seen a video where a guy distorts his face while singing a dubstep song and making faces as if that's the sound... That's the look of the face the sound would have if the sound had a face? Have you ever seen any of those videos? Whenever I listen to this kind of music, or most of the time, like, I'll just start imagining in my head, like, what if I could make my face look like this? And it would literally look like one of those facial contortion squirrel screaming videos. Anyway, I'm trying to write something down. I'm trying to write part of my plan. Yeah, why can't it be on here? Proton, right. Alright, I think I'm going to catch this 25 seconds early. Peace. Take those off and take this. I can feel my mouth drinking. Yikes. The roof of my mouth. Thursday. Alright, so no need to do this. Hopefully this will help me keep my train of thought. Stop. Slow down, baby. To Garyvee, comma, I'm trying to tell myself not to do anything in an accent because it's kind of a stupid thing to do, and in doing so, I'm losing my train of thought in how to spell this word. Eventually, to Garyvee eventually. So, I just watched one of your videos on doing a social crap, what was it? I just watched one of your videos on doing a social commentary podcast and almost lost my what did I do? No, what am I trying to say? I just watched, I don't really like that edge on this. I just watched one of your videos on doing a social commentary podcast and almost my shirt. That's what I'll do. Almost lost my shirt. Oh, my shirt. Not 5 minutes. And taking money. You know what would be funny? If he actually, I know this would be impossible, but if he were to actually watch this video, if he was the first person to watch this video after I posted it, he would literally be watching me write an email to him before he gets the email, but once he gets the email, he'll know exactly what it took to write the email. Why do I think of these things? I have no idea. Not 5 minutes earlier, and here's the sort of cool part. Video. UPS trucks. Proof. Video proof available for purchase. Not 5 minutes earlier. Video proof available. Video proof available. Not 5 minutes earlier, I was talking about doing this kind of podcast. Literally, this just blew my mind. Summer, so take your money. I was not 5 minutes earlier, video proof available. I was talking about doing this kind of podcast. This just blew my mind. I also just read a post about, I think Andy is his name. Woo! Mi gente! Whoop whoop! Whoop whoop! Woo! Bo, bo. No, I'm not Mexican, and no, I'm not making fun of any Mexican, and no, I don't know if that's even a Mexican. I'm just saying I like a lot of different kinds of things, and when I hear them, sometimes I say things that make me think of what I'm listening, so get used to it. Can I find him in here? So I'm trying to find Andy. There he is. Andy, I'm not even going to try to say your last name, because I'd rather hear it come out of your mouth, so that when I hear it, I pay attention. So, Garyvee, back to thee. I also just read a post about Andy, and this is my message to you. I hope it gives you value. Alright, so sorry, Garyvee, if you don't like uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Sorry if you don't like this music, Gary. You can just press mute and read it when I'm done. Hey, that's... Oh, man. Okay. I might have to actually turn this down, because that's a brilliant idea. Oh, stop it. Crap, what was it? You son of a bitch. Oh, artificial intelligence. At what point will they be able to go into this video, not only extract everything I write, but everything I say? Like, would I be able to tell it, like Gary does to D-Rock, hey, we're going to record, an Insta story, something. So it's like they literally just get all the content they need, and they know what they said right before it. So when D-Rock goes back to get the footage and piece it all together, he knows when that happened in the car ride, so he knows where to fast forward to get that comment, because he knows what's said. If he tells an AI machine to go find this phrase and record the minute in front of it and the minute behind it, what's to say that couldn't be an automated process that a live stream is then instantly edited crudely, but to showcase, not to showcase, edited to present that piece of content in that format for that amount of time, if that makes sense. So that's kind of how I see. That's the question I want to ask people in the industries that are involved in building something that could work like that, is my goal, I guess. So I also just read a post about Andy, and this is my message to you. I hope it gives you value. Kind of creepy, Brady. Crap, do I want to do this now, or... I don't know. What do I want to do now? Oh. My gosh, go back to what I was doing. I am so bad at this. It's unbelievable. I will lose my own train of thought if I could. Seriously.
What do you think about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum?
Are you joking me?
Yep.
Gary, I'm very comfortable being able to get to know you like this, because if there is anything that may draw a wedge between this relationship that you this relationship that you have yet been made aware of, if there is anything that's going to drive a wedge in between us, Garyvee, it's this. So I might be very, very interested to hear every single word you say. Crap, which means I need to, because this does that. Go. All right, now I'm listening.
I'd love to do, I'm just too busy. Social commentary.
Yes.
I love the idea of taking your iPhone, going to Times Square, looking at everybody's sneakers, and talking about sneaker culture and who's wearing what, or going to a Whole Foods and looking at packages and pricing, like auditing culture. It's cool, right? I mean, I do it all the time as a person, but so much of what I know, like, I knew slime was coming for 8-year-old girls because I was like watching culture, right? Like, I love watching culture. If you're good enough, if you've always had intuition, you know how people love discovering new bands and then they hold on to it, and then when the band gets popular, they get mad at them because they sold out. You know, like if you've got that skill, try to synthesize that. That would be a super fascinating thing to watch or listen to. I wish I did a show where I told you what was actually going through my head when I come in to like the airport. Like, do you know why I like flying so much?
Dude, he literally just fucking entered my mind. This
How I got on
is
Snapchat so early.
this is ridiculous.
I just kept watching like teenagers opening this yellow app like 5 years ago. I was like, what is that? And when the apps are charts, like number 30, I'm like, that's the yellow thing. You know?
Hold on, let me see what that.
I've stopped
I've been
looking at
hearing
teenagers
that.
as much
Hold
because some
on.
of the dads were getting mad at me.
Hold on. Sorry. Like any good idea, it comes to me while I'm freaking eating. I don't know if I'd ever be able to even remember it. Seriously, this is killing me. Had I been talking out loud recording... Oh my gosh. Alright, let me finish eating. Oh. So, now I can remember. It's about a club idea. Alright, so imagine this. I was sitting here... Here, just... let it happen naturally. Alright, so imagine this. you have people in a concert hall with rooms off of a main hallway where before you go into the room, you get a pair of headphones and a pair of goggles so you can see the artificial reality that's being created in front of you, and you can listen to the music that's being played to that reality. See what I'm saying? Like, that's going to be a, quote, not a concert experience, but that's going to be a form of entertainment that's going to be like going to a music event online in a digital reality while also interacting in an artificial reality in your actual reality, if all of that makes sense. Hold on. Oh, there. Son of a goat. I'm also going to reverse engineer how to live stream your content. A Garyvee not needed tutorial. Well, no, he's needed because I'd have to be watching his content for some reason. Alright, so I guess now we can get back to our regularly scheduled program, which is kind of ridiculous, but you know what? Hey, Elsie. You know what? That's how I roll.
I was like hovering over, like teenage girls will tell you the future every time. It's a lot easier for some of the women in here to do it. Like creepy 40-year-old dude looking at young, kids is kind of weird. So, but I watch people. That would be a cool show as a third one.
Cool.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Gary, Mike Storm.
Mike.
Go Jets.
I'm listening.
Yes, sir.
As a disruptor, what's coming, technical thing, Michael knows what my question's going to be. What do you think about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dash, Litecoin?
Yep.
As a trending, as a disruptor,
Let's
what do you see coming with it?
Let's talk about blockchain because it's
Blockchain
blockchain.
No.
Right? I mean, you've got.
All right, this might be hard. Crap. So what the dude asked about was the currency, but what Gary's answer was the network. If that makes sense. Like capital B, at least the way I understand it, capital B Bitcoin is blockchain and the network, whereas lowercase Bitcoin is the currency or the money, as is uppercase letter BTC is also the. I see that as the financial, the traded asset is BTC. The libertarian philosophical belief scenario, whatever's, is little b Bitcoin. And then again, we have uppercase Bitcoin as the network or the idea that is blockchain, or at least the first practitioner. I don't know. But I can't keep pausing this. Well, let me just... He might... Suck it up, Brady.
Right? So
no, I can't.
I invested in Bitcoin.
I literally need to hear.
I invested in Bitcoin
everything.
and Ethereum in 2014. Right? So...
At the height.
And they hold on to it, and then when the band gets popular, they get mad at them because they sold out. You know, like if you've got that skill, try to synthesize that. That would be a super fascinating thing to watch or listen to.
I think I just have to listen to it.
Where I told you what was
crap, this is going to be really hard.
When I come in to like the airport, like, do you know why I like
really
so much?
hard.
Watching the people at the airport. So I invested in Bitcoin and Ethereum in 2014, right? So, and I haven't sold any, so I've done okay, right? But the reason much because some of the dads were getting mad at me.
All right, I think
but
that's...
literally, I was like hovering over like teenage girls will tell you the
Brady.
future every time. It's a lot easier.
Anyway, he asked the question for
40-year-old dudes looking at young, kids. It's kind of weird. So, but I watched
the asset, and Gary answers with the blockchain.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Gary, Mike.
I think.
Yes, sir.
So, as a disruptor, what's coming, technical thing, Michael knows what my question's going to be. What do you think about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dash, Litecoin,
Yep.
as a trending, as a disruptor?
Yeah.
What do you see coming with it?
Let's talk about blockchain because it's blockchain,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you've got Ethereum underneath that, you got Bitcoin after that, right? So I invested in Bitcoin and Ethereum in 2014, right? So, and I haven't sold any, so I've done okay, right? But the reason I don't talk about it a lot for the people that follow me the most is I don't like talking about shit I don't know.
Ah,
Right?
yes.
And so it's funny. I peacock, right? I roll when I'm
Vayner.
talking about what I know.
Call me.
Passive. I know a lot about crypto. I spend a lot of time looking at it. Not enough to put myself out there because I feel like I'd really want to be right. Here's the thing with blockchain. Blockchain, if you play the chess moves all the way out, is the decentralization of our entire society. If you really play it out, it seems like you're right.
Yes.
You've been into it for a little while. Bro, this is heady shit. This isn't Bitcoin. This isn't like ha ha ha. This is America's not going to let it happen. Because it undermines America itself. There's China is a funny country. I think we have America propaganda. If you look at China, the mix between dictatorship, communism, and capitalism, China as a country is run much more like the way we run our businesses. It's a little capitalism, it's a little bit of, right? So China making it illegal is the preview, not an anomaly. We as Americans are like, oh, fucking China, right? Communism, right? China is advanced. So here's how I think about it. Look, the amount of money being made on ICOs right now, fast, quick bucks, is no different than Bebo selling for $850 million to AOL. There's some people going to make some real money in this period. I love it. I think it's batshit interesting about you and I, me buying your home and transacting the lease on the blockchain, right? Fuck the bank, fuck everybody. Great. I'm a big buyer in my altruistic nature as a human. If you think America is going to let it happen at the level of that extreme, it has no vested interest. No government has vested interest in this collapsing them. But if you play it out outside of military, this is what holds it all together. Currency. It's big, man. It's real big. It's really hard for me to really play out everything other than the following. It is so disruptive that it's very difficult for me to see the governments of our society going down without a fight.
There's a window for it, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the window's already, we're living the window. Do you know, you've seen the famous story of the guy who bought a pizza with 10,000 Bitcoins? Bought a pizza for $50 million. We're living in it. We're in it right now. There's a lot of people making a lot of money. These ICOs, there's so many rackets being run right now. And so they'll have their window. But it's fascinating technology, right? It's the most disruptive thing that's since the internet that I can even wrap my head around. Super gnarly shit. You got it. Hi.
Hi, Gary.
Oh, dude.
As an entrepreneur, looking back, what's something you wish you would have done?
All right. I need to ask VaynerMedia if they have a blockchain R&D team. Team member. Oh, man. That dude knew exactly... I'm not saying he was talking through two sides of his mouth, but he knew what to say and how far he could say it before he had to say, but here's where, I draw the line, or here's where I'm not nuts and you shouldn't be. Like, he was good about it. Now, do I want to try and do this? Didn't I start writing something? What the heck? What the heck? Serious? Hold on. Perfect example of something that just literally blows my mind. So here I am. Let me try and start at the beginning. I'm listening to Andy's, or his voice popped up in my head because I was listening. No. I was reading something he had written, so I was reading it in a voice that I think he has. I've never heard. I don't know. That was weird. But I basically, instead of asking Gary the question, I don't need Gary's input. I actually need someone else that works with him at VaynerMedia's input as to, hey, does Gary see any value in blockchain improving the functionality of social media? Like, literally, that's my question. And instead of making a list of things that, I'm doing to get me closer to what I think would be blockchain affecting social media in a good way that may leave, the government's issue with blockchain out of the way, or temporarily suspend it in time to discuss what could be, kind of thing. I was trying to figure out how do I engage him in that conversation, and I don't know why I was doing it there. Brady. Where would he be? Hey, Paul. Paul? Yeah. Let me see if I can see Gary normally. I don't know about that guy's ads. They're kind of weird. Ah, crap. Andy, I don't know. Okay. That's it. Andy, yeah. See? So, why not just freaking ask the dude instead of going on all blobbity blah, lickety splicket? Fucking talk to the guy. So, I just finished reading a piece on you and wanted to ask you if Gary saw any value in... Alright, now I kind of have to explain. So it was actually more the video. which if I did this online, alright, let me try and do it this way. So it's so weird going from keyboard to phone, back to keyboard to phone. It's just bizarre. Okay, good. So, perfecto. Oh my gosh. Look, I can sell stuff on Amazon. Those really get to me. Alright, so that's where I want to snag this from. Start at. Copy. Don't know why I have to say this all out loud as I do it. Sorry. So now we're doing what needs doing, not on the phone, but on the computer screen. So tweet to Andy. Major laser. Let's get some tunes. So I just watched this and a thought occurred to me. So I just watched that. So I'm sorry. I'll send it to. I don't know. Hold on. Let me write this. So I'm writing this on the TV on the keyboard. I'm writing this on the computer screen because I needed to. I wanted the video to start in a certain spot. So if he needed to hear what he was talking about at the moment that I'm referring to, he can go to it. I could only figure that out on a desktop, so blah blah blah. So I just watched this and a thought occurred to me. Has Gary considered the implications blockchain can have on social media? It's so weird because the keyboard doesn't guess what you're gonna say, so you can't type fast. Has Gary considered the implications blockchain can have on social media platforms if it isn't murdered by the world's top? I think that's pretty dang good, if I do say so myself. Because he's the kind of guy that would respond to this. So it's like, what the heck? Why would I... Oh, so... Not that it's relevant, but I couldn't go back. What I had here before, what I started writing and recording, I couldn't go back and find it for the life of me. So then I started again. But then I was like, wait a minute. No, let me talk to the dude direct. And then I can just get the video thing, blah, 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 blah. So... I think I will send this. I want to emphasize, has Gary considered the implications, the profound should I throw a disproportionate in there somewhere? I'm trying to make fun of him and poke him and jab him, and I can't even say it. Has Gary considered the profound implications blockchain can have on social media platforms of the future? If it isn't murdered by the world's top governments? That's actually not a bad question. Let's see what Andy has to say. That'd be cool if I met the guy. That would certainly be cool. Alright. I think we can do this now.
Bought more Google ads. So like the biggest thesis of me right now for the people that follow me the most is I day trade attention, right? What I think I'm better at, to the point of me putting out more content consistently than anybody, it's because I believe that social networks have a disproportionate amount of attention and people don't realize it. I just don't understand how people don't realize it. Like, it's what we spend all our time on. Like, not 14-year-olds, 30-year-olds and 40-year-olds and 50-year-olds and 60-year-olds. Like, there's the social media celebrities.
That is so true.
Kids are way more famous than the actual celebrities. It's not even close. I think people are now saying, wait a minute, these people are kind of famous too. No. There's no mainstream celebrity as famous as any of the top 100 social celebrities, including Kardashians, who are as much social as they are mainstream and whatever, right? So
that's so true.
I built my dad's liquor store on the back of email and Google AdWords, but I didn't spend enough on Google AdWords. When I talk about my dad's business growing from 4 to 60 million, every time I hear it in an intro, in an interview, I say it should have been 4 to 250. It could have been much bigger if I was smart enough to, I'm not a poker player, but what I had at the time by owning all the wine terms on Google for 5 and 10 cents a click before anybody knew what it was I had the best hand. And I wasn't going all in. And that's why I'm so passionate for all of you to get more serious about social. Right now, Facebook ads is that moment. And Instagram influencers is that moment. And I would say everybody in here is overspending their mental time and their money on Facebook and Instagram, much to the demise of their upside. You can still win. Direct mail still works. Radio still works. Google still works. Things still work. Just not as good. I love when people are like, Gary, great, but I went from 0 to 4 million this year in my business. I'm like, what's wrong with 9, asshole? So this is about upside. So really, to be honest with you, because most things I don't look back on. I think looking back is insane. I think you should learn, but I'm not good at even remembering what the fuck happened last year, let alone in my 20s, because it doesn't matter. Other than the learnings that I feel in my body that help me navigate. So I don't like to dwell or things of that nature, but to answer it so it brings back, the reason I answered that was so that I can go on my rant for you on Facebook and Instagram right now, because I want you guys to be compelled to get way more serious. You know how many people here, Amber?
Yes.
Amber, do you know how many people in here have run a little bit of Facebook ads with one creative variable and it didn't work and they deemed Facebook as not working?
Maybe not this room, but most of the people I know.
This room too. So I'm interested in putting pressure on that conversation because you will benefit, because it's underpriced attention. How much you will pay to target people within a 5-mile radius of your shop or people that are interested in your product is underpriced. I just don't know what else to say. If it costs you $3 to get in front of them, it should be 11. And you're paying 11 somewhere else and it's worth 2. That's all. Now, the tough part is you have to make a picture or video that makes them do something. Google was so great for everybody because it was intent-based marketing. I am looking for a karate studio. I am looking for red wine. Where can I buy bananas? That was easy. You just put it in front of them. The creative part didn't matter. It was all blue letters. That's why everybody liked it so much. We're back to more like TV and print. It's harder.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Who's got the green thing? Awesome, a man. What's up?
My name's Bryce.
Bryce.
You kind of touched on this a little bit already, but what do you believe holds people back from just taking action?
Other people's opinions.
And how do you overcome that?
By telling your mom to go fuck themselves.
Oh, God.
Bryce, I'm so hot on this, man. I am so sad that the reason you get a reaction like that is a mix between, it's funny to use the word mom and fuck in the same sentence, right? But it's way more true. If you listen to the tone of the laughs in there and saw what I just saw, the truth in what I just said is so powerful. I am so sorry. I am driven by gratitude. You want to know, when everybody, how many of you saw me on the Hot Ones, the Hot Wing kind of thing? Some of you saw this? So that's a huge audience and a lot of people who didn't know me. And every time I do Joe Rogan or Hot Wins or a TV show where a lot of people don't know who I am, I know I'm in for it.
I think
because 20% of the crowd's going to hate me.
I should stop
right?
this.
But what's fun about YouTube shows is the comments are there. So I spent 4 hours the other day in there engaging.
Why am I telling him to hold on? Peace.